Welcome to Strictly Speaking. I'm Bimbo, OLOYEDE. My first guest on today's program is Mr. Femi Odugbemi. Welcome to Strictly Speaking.
Thank you so much.
Femi is a filmmaker, a documentary maker, a man who I could say is a facilitator of the arts. I know that over the years, you have invested so much in words. In fact, that's your medium. And I'm thinking about the quality of English, the quality of scripts and things like that. And I'm wondering whether you have observed that there is a decline over the years.
Well, clearly, we're in a space where we definitely need to pay attention. The decline itself is fundamentally from the decline of our educational system.
So that's where it has its root.
It's very important that we acknowledge it so we fix it from its foundations. We have had 2 or 3 generations of students who have not been given the best quality of education, especially in English, in grammar, in language, because of that neglect.
Yes, and this obviously cuts across everything that you're doing.
Everything, because remember, we are teaching sciences with English. We are teaching technology with English. And English is not just a language in that respect. It is directly connected to our capacity to develop, to innovate. It's beyond communication. It's about meaning across board.
Yes.
And so for us, it's particularly a huge challenge because a large chunk of our young people are in the business of storytelling.
When you talk about decline, sure enough, there is a decline in the language. Is there a decline in the attitude towards embracing the language, wholeheartedly?
I say yes, but I connect it to a bigger problem within society. It surrounds what we value. There is a decline in how much we value excellence. There is a decline in how much we value precision. And I think every nation that develops on the wings of those values. And once you get that right, it then becomes something that you're invested in, whether it is in learning a language, in speaking a language, or in any form trying to communicate meaning.
I know that you've been involved with training right from the days when you were secretary and president of the Independent Television Producers Association of Nigeria. And more recently, you headed the Multi-Choice Talent Factory. Now, these young people, they are learning the techniques, they are learning the applications. Many of them would probably like to go abroad, venture across the Atlantic. And I wonder, will they be able to express themselves properly? Would they blend with their peers?
The big problem with that, and it's a big challenge, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's not about cameras and equipment. It's actually about you as a storyteller and how much you're able to communicate your story. But when you travel, it is not just the story. It is what's driven you to that story. It is why are you telling that story. So there's a lot to unpack when you stand in front of an international audience that has to do with your worldview, your capacities, and when you already have the difficulty of your accent, to then have grammatical issues, pronunciation issues,
it compounds everything.
Your capacity to articulate and convey any sort of meaning becomes even abridged. The good thing is, I think those who succeed in the communication business often understand that there is a continuous learning paradigm that needs to come into play. Almost all industries are realizing they have to re-educate
Quite. It's almost, unlearning to relearn.
Exactly.
I don't know if it is still happening, but there was a time when Nollywood films that were shot in English required English subtitles. We see the subtitles, and I'm wondering, how do these products go out unnoticed, unfiltered, uncensored, as it were?
The truth is, regulators are gatekeepers.
They should be.
They ought to be gatekeepers. The reason there are regulators is so that, the ethical compass, the moral compass, the capacity to convey the right kind of meaning is all part of their job. But I think we're in a place where, there seems to just be a lowering of, a lowering of standards across board. And it's far more dangerous and consequential when it is in the space where the product reaches so many people.
Yes.
So yes, there has to be. But again, there is the issue of training. The people who sit at that gate must not only understand filmmaking, they must understand storytelling along with their job to ensure that when things are not right,
yes,
we are specific enough to send it back
and say this and this and
get
this is
it
what
done
is
right.
Right, exactly.
Impunity is a major national challenge because people do things and people are able to get away with doing anything.
So is there hope? Is there a way forward?
We have to be humble enough to understand that where we are is not only not good, it does not align with our developmental objectives. If we really want to go forward, if we really want to build a society where we are actually able to prioritize innovation, prioritize development, and create this sort of human equity that has excellence and knowledge and understanding and capacity, we have to understand that the bridge to that is in ensuring that the process, the language, the grammar, the details of how we convey meaning is not only exact, it is actually excellent.
So I think maybe in rounding this conversation off, I think maybe what we should be saying is that what we need is, passion is fine, but process must also be there.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Femi, for joining me on this program. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Up next is another conversation, but this time I'm having the conversation with John Senaya, and he's our in-house public speaking coach. Don't go away.